Burlesque, a way to express yourself through movement and the element of tease. And my goodness, this fantastic individual is fearless and has created a storm in the cabaret community. She pushes boundaries, she's broken the mold, the number one most influential burlesque performer in the UK, and the owner of House of Pantha and Strip Hop. Introducing the enticing, the absolute goddess, Cleopantha. So I'm sitting with the incredible Cleopantha.
Hello, everyone.
Number one burlesque performer in the UK and top 10 worldwide. You're absolutely phenomenal, by the way.
Thank you so
Absolutely
much.
amazing. How would you describe Cleopantha and what was the process to developing her?
I would say Cleopantha is fierce, unapologetic. Cleopantha came about because of my roots as a performer. So I started off as a dancer. I did disco freestyle, street dance when I was younger, African dance. So I wanted to come up with a style of burlesque that fused all of that, bringing all my upbringing into that. And yeah, Cleo was born. I'd say it took about 2 years for me to figure out my branding and who Cleo was. So I always just want to reassure new performers it does take time to find out who you are as a burlesque artist.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And you're very, very unique. I remember when I saw you for the first time and I was just like, there's just no one out there that's quite like you.
Oh, thank you. I think my upbringing just has a lot to do with it. I've always grafted. I think being a shorter performer as well, I've been told to just dance bigger and be energetic. And I've just carried that through with all my artistry, really.
Yeah. It's a good point, actually. I remember when I was dancing and people would see me backstage and they go, oh, you're not as tall as you seem on stage because you don't dance big.
Yeah.
Dance big. So where did you train and what was your journey to becoming a burlesque performer?
Oh, here we go. So it was quite interesting, really. I started dance lessons at the age of 6. I went to Connections Dance Centre in Levenshulme in Manchester, born and raised Mancunian. My mum put me in classes in disco freestyle, ballroom and Latin, and that's what I competed in up until the age of about 12, 13. And then I moved over to street dance, Vogue, African dance, and that's when I started ballet. So I actually started ballet quite late. I also started contemporary dance around then as well. I went to Pendleton College in Salford. I did a BTEC diploma and an A-level in dance.
Wow.
Yeah. And then from there, went on to the Northern School of Contemporary Dance and trained for 4 years and got a degree in contemporary dance.
Busy.
Yeah. Intense childhood. But my family had always been so supportive. And I just feel like I owe a lot to them. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for them, really. After contemporary dance school, I actually wanted to do kids TV, which is quite funny.
Yeah, I can picture you doing that, actually.
Yeah, I wanted to do kids TV presenting. I did a little bit for the CBBC. I think because I'd moved to London, it was so expensive. I was going up to Media City quite a lot, so back and forth on the train to Manchester. And I had a full-time job in London at the time, so it just became too vigorous. It was just too stressful. And then burlesque came about because someone had just recommended it to me. They'd said, like, you've got your dance training, you seem like a very body positive person. Have you thought about it? My fear was if I, pursued the burlesque career, that I couldn't pursue the children's presenting career because people at the BBC might frown upon it, sort of thing. So I had to make quite a cutthroat decision, really, when I chose to pursue the path in burlesque, but I have absolutely no regrets. I absolutely love my job.
I can imagine you doing the TV presenting as well, for sure. But yeah, I'm glad you made the decision you did. So from the dance school and then into burlesque, was it quite a drastic change? Because you said you went into TV presenting. Did the dancing just sort of stop for a while?
I still
did
do dancing, so I was still doing a few dance jobs here and there. I actually danced, hilariously, I danced at Cyberdog, in Camden.
Love Camden.
Yeah, I used to go dancing there.
So is that the one where you'd walk in and straight away you'd see the dancers at the top?
At the top on the ceiling, yeah.
I wonder if you were there the many times that I went in to choose my rave clothes.
It would have been 2013-14, maybe.
Yeah, I was definitely still shopping there.
No way. It was so much fun working in there. I had the best time. But I was doing things like that, just little part-time jobs, taking little bits of dance work, club work, night work. And then, I slowly just, transcended into burlesque and started looking into costume making, did a few burlesque competitions. And then Cleo just elevated from there, really.
Wow. Do you ever feel moments, throughout any of your dance training where you had doubts, or you were like, I'm really certain as a performer and this is what I want to do?
Oh, 100%. You always have doubts. I think coming from a working class family, whether, like a job like this is financially stable, that always gave me doubts whether I could sustain it. But you just work hard, you push through, you carry on, you crack on, as my mum would say. I always had to have self-belief that I would do well as well. I always strive to do well. And that's all I wanted to do, really, be the best that I could be. Yeah. And I hope I've got there, or still trying to get there. Still pushing myself.
So who nurtured you?
There are so many people I could mention. Darren Pritchard being one of them. Darren was a Vogue teacher who taught me as part of Company First Dance Academy back when I was 16. They really pushed for me to get into dance school, so I owe a lot to them. There was Lindsay at Connections Dance Centre. I don't know where she's based or where she is now, but really pushed me in disco freestyle, competing. Nice. And that's how I really got a name for myself in Manchester and in the disco freestyle scene. Trying to think who else. There were so many people. Sadie Sinner at the Cocoa Butter Club was one of the first people to spot me when I started doing burlesque. It's like, who are you? I remember my first phone call with Sadie, and she was like, who are you? I want to know more. And then she got me my first burlesque job on TV. So it was a Michael Jackson biopic for Channel 5. Yeah. So that was really impressive. I'd only been in the scene a couple of months. So
wow. Yeah. Straight to TV.
Straight to TV.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So much fun. So I have Sadie to thank for that. There are so many people I feel have given me such amazing advice over the years and really tried to nurture me as an artist and give me good advice. So a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing her to us.
You've created a monster.
How do you feel when you're on stage?
Electric. There is no other feeling like it. I genuinely believe, not to sound cheesy, that I was born and made to be on stage. That's all I know. It's in my DNA. It's who I am. It's everything. And there's nothing more incredible to me having that exchange of energy on stage with your audience, making them feel they're really going on a journey with you, with your artistry. It's not just about performing to them. It's making them feel a part of it and connecting with them, which is a big thing for me. So electric. Incredible. I always feel amazing on stage. Thank you, everyone that comes to my shows. You make me feel great.
I felt that when I watched you perform, that you really, really connect with your audience. And you're so versatile. You've got so many different acts as well. I mean, it's probably a tough question to ask, but which one brings you the most joy?
The most joy, I would have to say both WAP, because of the history I've had with her, and my 90s raver act, which is just all you were gonna be happy that I mentioned that one. I've had such a journey with her as well. She's still fairly new, but again, that is me when I'm not Cleo, and I'm not going to say my muggle name on this, but when I'm me, that's me at a festival, just an idiot, just in my little tracksuit bobbing around raving.
I love the way that your act started as well on the side. You're just there and throwing out the clothes sticks, and I was just like, this is a bit of me. I loved it.
I love to make acts that are like relatable and people can relate to and just find joy in. That means a lot to me. It's a branch out of me 100%, and I always want my acts to be me. I think when I first started out, I was trying to do a lot of classic, and I wasn't, again, when I was finding my branding, I wasn't quite sure who I was as a burlesque artist yet.
Yeah.
And when someone reassured me that I could be me, that's all I really needed, just a bit of reassurance that this is actually fine if you pursue, you know, a burlesque career in this sort of path. You can explore these things like rave culture, because I think a lot of people still see burlesque as, you know, 1920s classic, big feathers. And we said we wouldn't swear. I want to fudge the system.
Fudge
the system
yes.
up. I want to try something different. I want to push the boundaries, even if that comes with people telling me what I do isn't burlesque. I don't care. I think I just want to shift something. I want something to evolve. I want something to flourish in what I do. And I hope that I'm doing that. And I hope it encourages other newer artists to really push the boundaries of whether they're doing drag, burlesque, circus.
Yeah.
We should always constantly be pushing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And being you as well. I remember I had a very short stint in burlesque, but I think I was trying to be what others would want me to be given my 100%. Ballet career. So like, we'll put your burlesque acts onto point. But I was just like, I couldn't connect. And when I was on the stage, I just didn't feel... it felt like there was my act and there was me, and they weren't congruently working. It just felt off. And I wonder if other performers sort of feel that. I mean, they wouldn't say, because, you know, you're doing your act, but I think I love the fact that you are, you know, you've got your different characters, and which are parts of you that you're expressing, but you're fully invested in that particular one. And
100%.
You know, the rave one, and obviously the Christmas one, because they're the ones.
The Christmas dinner
and the Jessica Rabbit one. You know, they're all very, very different. I mean, the rave one is obviously, that's got my heart for obvious reasons. I think everybody knows by now, Candy likes to rave. But when you were there with the long plait, and you were just, guys, you just got to see it. You're going to be doing it lots over the summer, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can mention it now, but I did do it for BGT this year.
Amazing.
Whether they're going to air it, I don't know. I had to go through a lot of bits and bobs with them. I couldn't fully strip in there. Which is understandable. It's family television. But yeah, they seem to really enjoy it. Ant and Dec got glow sticks. The panel were all giving glow sticks. One of the highlights for me is Bruno turning around to the audience saying, "Everyone get up." So it was like an incredible moment. But God,
that must have been amazing when everyone was stood up dancing to your tracks. Wow.
Yeah, so much fun.
Wow. That's incredible. You've achieved so much.
Oh, thank you.
How long have you been doing the burlesque?
So approximately 8-9 years now. Yeah, it's gone very quickly. Very quick. Don't regret anything though. I've had the most amazing time. The ups and downs, but that's part of it really.
Oh, yeah, of course. And you've mentioned to me in a previous conversation where we talked about, you know, it's a big topic these days about ADHD. So it's a big topic these days.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you possibly have ADHD?
Probably within the last 2-3 years, which some might find quite shocking if they've known me for longer than that. I think I didn't have like much of an understanding of it until I spoke to a lot of friends, and obviously now on social media platforms, people are discussing it left, right, and centre. Yeah. So I have now a deeper understanding of kind of how it works and how my brain kind of works. I am undergoing therapy at the moment, more for anxiety, but we have discussed it in my therapy sessions as well. The first time I spoke to a new therapist, he was like, "Yeah, we're referring you for an ADHD test." And I was like, "Yeah, it's about time, really." It comes with its ups and downs, ADHD, though. I can hyperfixate on rhinestoning for 12 hours straight. Whoa. That's a massive plus.
That is a plus.
Yeah, I find it quite relaxing. But then there's days where I have ADHD paralysis, where when I'm mentally and physically tired, I just can't mentally deal with stuff. Admin, and I'll openly say that, I find really difficult. So I have my friend Sophie that helps me out with that at the moment, and will do a bit of work for me. So I have my friends supporting me. I can pay and can help me out with that. But yeah, ADHD has its ups and downs, and I try to fully embrace it until I gain a better understanding of myself and start going, more therapy sessions. I try to be kinder on myself this year. When I've got them down days, just go with it. Just chill out. Don't give myself a hard time about it. Don't feel bad for not getting back to everyone's emails. And then when I'm feeling, hyperactive and super on it the other days, then I can do my emails and do all the things that I need to do, but to not beat myself up too much about it when I have them low days.
I think having those boundaries on yourself is really, really important. And I remember when you were like, I can't deal with this right now, it's just like little things like that. And you go, I really respect that.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. It's when people are ignoring their body and their mind and they're just pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And it's not good for you.
Yeah,
you do
100%.
need to have those days where you go, do you know what? I just can't quite get my head around things, so I won't.
Yeah. I try to vocalize that a lot more, and I try to reassure people that it's not a them issue either.
No.
My brain just gets completely overwhelmed, especially when I'm really, really tired from traveling, etc. And my body's done through like 5 gigs in one weekend. I'm just absolutely mentally and physically exhausted. And the sprinkle of ADHD on top of that, just car crash waiting to happen, really.
But you can use it to your advantage. Like you said, the hyper focus in doing the
100%.
rhinestones and creating acts. I bet you just, when you're on it, that's when you're creating your masterpieces.
Yeah, I can sit up, as I said, for 12 hours straight, even if it's me working on a new concept, rhinestoning, sewing. When I'm on top form, I'm on top form. And the passion that I have for this drives that too. So yeah, I don't feel rubbish for having ADHD. I don't, feel bad about it. It's just managing it. It's just part of being an adult, really, and just managing things. And that's just one other thing that I have to manage.
Do you find that affects you when you're on stage, or you're just on it because you're in an environment that you just feel you belong?
There's sometimes before I go on stage where I feel a bit, and that is not because as soon as I'm on stage, I remember why I'm doing what I do, what brings me joy. It's that reminder as soon as I step on stage. But again, when you're doing 5-6 gigs and you're doing things back to back and your brain is just not with it, sometimes you do just need a moment. And I do try and have a moment backstage just to breathe, just to also try and have a laugh as well, and just, get that little serotonin boost.
And those backstage moments.
Oh yeah, Jules is one. I know. Jules is great for that, so I love having Jules backstage. I mean, everyone really at like Phoenix Arts Club are great. I can have a laugh with them, and that really, makes me forget about the ADHD and the the walls that I have to confront. But yeah, it's always a joy being on stage, and it's always a reminder. Yeah.
Do you think that the ADHD sort of links, like, do you think that you were maybe drawn to the dance industry because of your ADHD?
100%. I know they've done studies on music and ADHD. I need to read up more on it. There's something that goes on with the brain, and I've just always had so much love for music. I know that sounds a bit silly, and I know everyone likes music and likes listening to music, but I talk about it with other neurospicy friends. We have a joke about, like, I really listen to layers in a track of music, and when I perform I really try and highlight them layers, whether it's a case of I dance to the bass and then I jump to the lyrics and start coordinating and dancing to the lyrics. I always like to move between them layers as I'm performing, and I hope that gives like my ex like a more high definition look.
Definitely. Definitely. I guess if you were to just always stick to the beat, it just wouldn't make it as dynamic, I guess.
And I think a lot of newer artists that I speak to, especially in classes, don't even think about layers to a track. But my brain has just always been wired like that.
Do you know what? That's why we like raving, because we hear the music layers. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I haven't been tested. I have a feeling like I've got a sprinkle of something. There's a sprinkle of something going on. But I think, when you hear the layers in the music, and it's just so much more enjoyable. Maybe people are listening to the music and they're just hearing a track, but they're not allowing themselves to really
there's a deep-rooted feeling. I'm always like, if there is such thing as a soul, like, it's just soulful, it hits something
Definitely.
Yeah, it transcends. I don't want to say other worlds or anything, but I'm quite a spiritual person. Okay. So yeah, there's something like deeply rooted and spiritual about listening to certain types of music and how it makes you feel and what it makes you think about. There's so many things to think about when you listen to a track, and I think that's of great importance when I'm creating an act. Making sure that the track fits in with the narrative. And
how do you create an act? Does it start with the music?
It actually starts, I guess, with the concept. With WAP. WAP took about 2-3 years for me to interlink it all. Wow. I made notes. I tend to find my mind is most at peace when I'm traveling on the train. So my ADHD is kind of like on this calm level. Mm-hmm. And I am really thankful that I actually have ADHD. I see it as a superpower. I always joke to my other ADHD friends about it because I just have random things pop in my head sometimes that others might think are silly, but I think are quite genius, to be honest. So yeah, like WAP, I'd actually bought the costume first, which I don't necessarily normally do. Mm-hmm. I'd think of the concept, then the costume would come later. Yeah. But I bought it from Bang London, bright pink. I knew I wanted to explore, obviously my name being Cleopantha, I wanted to explore the pink panther. There was something there. Yeah. But I didn't want to do the typical, I want to be a pink panther. I wanted to do something grittier and more than that. So I'd noted that down. I'd noted down that I wanted to explore and I wanted to pay homage to female rappers over the decades because I feel like a lot of them are overlooked. Mm-hmm. So that was noted. And later on, I just thought it'd be really funny that maybe instead of going with the whole I'm a pink panther, that we actually go with, like the little inspector. Yeah. So I thought rather than explore that, we can keep the Pink Panther theme, but actually be the other character. So all these things slowly came together. And I think the final straw with WAP is when we were in lockdown and WAP came out. I was like, I have to do an act to this song. I've noted that I want to do an act that pays homage to female rappers. And it just all came together one day and I was like, wicked, let's get it going.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I started moving towards moving on the music and working on the music. Then after that, yeah, it was just a case of testing it out at a few venues. And I think it was a bit too long to begin with, so we shortened it down. But yeah, and then WAP is what it is today.
Amazing. Yeah. And do you have to sort of be mindful of what you're performing in different venues? Like, can you perform all of them at all of the venues that you perform at?
So WAP's been a funny one. WAP, people just want it as is. Sometimes with 90s, they don't like me to get the drug references out, which is completely understandable. Mm-hmm. I know it could be triggering. Jessica Rabbit, I do have a clean edit, which I do 99% of the time. The other percentage of the time, I'll do it for the Cocoa Butter Club, and that's the explicit version. I feel that's a space where that is suitable. Mm-hmm. So yeah, for a few of them, I do have to change it up, but yeah, WAP, I always thought maybe I need to do a clean edit, but people just want it as is. They want it raw. They want it naughty. They want WAP.
And where do you perform?
Where do I start? So regular places, Phoenix Arts Club, Mrs. Riot in Covent Garden. Let's have a think. Albert Schloss, they're opening one in London soon, which I'll be a part of. Let me think where else. There's so many. Firehouse in Manchester. You know what I'm like? I love to just go up and down the UK. So whoever will take me, really.
I love that. But yeah, you're performing in a lot of places. Busy. Yeah. Always busy.
Always. I love the graft.
You are so hardworking.
Oh, thank you.
Really hardworking. How do you maintain your energy and your focus?
You tell me. At the start of the week, I tried to regulate. I've been speaking to my therapist about this actually, trying to regulate my sleeping. I actually take ashwagandha as well, which I find regulates my sleeping a bit more.
Okay. So I need that.
Yeah, ADHD is look into it. It's really benefited me. Tried to go to sleep in the week now. I try to be in bed by 11 and try not to stay up past 1 anymore. because I found that was really like messing with my immune system, again, triggering my ADHD. So I'd had a lot worse days for ADHD if I weren't sleeping correctly. Obviously, it's a bit more difficult on the weekend when we're working late. Yeah. Again, it just comes from my passion for this, and I feel like I owe it to people like my mum, who really, you know, wanted me to pursue a career in performing. And there's so many people that are backing me and supporting me. So it's all for them, really. Yeah. Obviously for myself as well. Obviously for myself as well. And my love and passion for burlesque. But again, I've always just wanted to be the best person that I can be. And I've always wanted to be recognised and leave my mark. So yeah, they're all the things that drive me. And even on the days when I'm tired, keep me going, keep me pushing through.
Passion carries you
more
through.
Energy, more passion, more footwork. I spend too much time on TikTok.
Just quickly while I have your attention, if you can please make sure you subscribe, as it really, really does help to boost the show. Thank you all so much. All right, let's get back to it. So I was thinking, you know, how much I am drawn to your social media. How important do you think that it is to get booked, you know, the actual social media? Because it's just, it's so massive now, isn't it?
Yeah. I think personally for me, I can only speak for myself. Instagram is a massive influence. I get a lot of work through Instagram from further afield as well. So people that are not, you know, in cabaret. TikTok's a tricky one. I try to post on it as much as I can. I've got a friend on there, Silver Rocks. I don't know if you know them. They're quite well known on TikTok. We were having a conversation. They were saying, you know, try to post 3 times a day if you can. It's a lot though, and it's editing, and that you know seeps into your working hours, and it's a lot to put in.
Yeah.
But I think if you get the algorithm right and you get it right on TikTok, yeah, you're smashing it. Instagram for me though is a biggie, and that's my main focus when it comes to social media. And I think that it's very important to keep pushing your social media and putting content out there. I think if I was talking to newer performers though, if there was any listening to this podcast, say it's not real life, that's just a reminder. You're only seeing one front. There are days where I have low days and I don't want to do social media, and I've tried to figure a way around that. I try and schedule posts now so I don't actually have to like think about it. So I'll have, say, an album with 20 videos, 20 pictures, and I'll just sit down for like 2 hours on a Monday and then schedule the post for the week.
Nice.
Then that's done and I don't have to think about it. But I do think it's really important. It leaves you at the forefront of people's minds, especially when it comes to producers that are following you. You always want to be at the forefront of people's minds when they're thinking of who to book.
Definitely.
So yeah, definitely important. Plus I like doing it. It's just like you can be creative, you can make like really cool things on Canva.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I find I struggle with the social media.
It's a lot.
I think I have my creative days where I'll do my videos and stuff like that, but I'm not scheduling them. I'm going to do that from now on. I'm going to be scheduling my posts because I'm there doing it all manually, going, oh my goodness me.
It's a lot.
Tired.
It's a lot. And I do on Instagram 2 to 3. I don't know if this will help anyone. 2 to 3 posts a day I'll schedule. There's some where there's only one post and that's fine. But like Fridays, I don't really get, you know, many views, but that's fine. I'll just do one post on a Friday.
Right. Is that because everybody's doing the weekends?
Yeah, so I'll try and schedule about 7:45 in the morning. I'll schedule a post around lunchtime, and then one again around 5, 6 o'clock when people are finishing work, when muggles are finishing work. They tend to be the busiest periods on my social media that I find.
Yeah.
But yeah, each their own.
I can imagine that would be the best time.
Oh, that's useful.
It's useful to like for me, I'm sat here going, yes, I need to do this now. Thank you, Cleopantha. Okay. What do you know now that you wish you knew back then when you started?
Back in the day, a biggie for me is costume. I always looked up at a lot of the classic girls and thought I can never afford that. And you can actually do things naughtily on the cheap. I tried to cover that in my courses.
Okay.
So I tried to order rhinestones off things like AliExpress. You can actually get like 14,000 packs of rhinestones on there for like 40, 50 quid. And there is just a good quality.
Wow.
But yeah, that's what I do to cut back on costs, especially now with the cost of living crisis. I find, I don't know about you, my money goes nowhere.
Trying, saving for the studies and everything, but yeah.
But I think just in general, I wish I had more conversations about costume and how to present myself as a performer. Again, I don't think there's any massive issue if it takes a newer artist a bit of time to find that.
Yeah.
But I just would have appreciated that a lot earlier on and people having conversations with me about that. So, yeah, because I think I would have refined myself as an artist a lot quicker if I'd had them conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because it is very, very expensive. And it does add up. And
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
And if you're getting things custom made, it is a lot of money.
And it's worth it, 100% worth it, especially when you step into that costume and you feel a particular way. You know what it's like, and you feel that character. And again, when you step on stage and you know people are like in awe of how you look and what you're wearing, like it does feel good. But yeah, I just wish I'd articulated that and I knew a lot more. Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day. And how do you balance your work and personal life?
Still working that one out.
Stay tuned.
I mean, I like to keep my personal life private. I don't really like it intervening with my work life. So anything with family, private life, I try and really keep separate. Dated previously within the scene, always found it wasn't the greatest of decisions. I mean, it's hard though, isn't it? Because I've got friends, I'm sure you do as well, that have met people in the scene and that's worked brilliantly for them. But I think I'm just quite a private person and I just like that being separate. That might be part of my ADHD, I guess, as well, categorizing things. But yeah, it is difficult. It is difficult, of course it is, especially when we're working hours on like Friday, Saturday nights when most people are out and doing things, going parties. I think, again, this year I've tried to be kinder to myself. So I try and give myself at least one Friday or Saturday night off a month now, just to go out and be a muggle.
Yeah.
Just be me.
Yeah, just to escape a little bit.
Yeah. And I've said to myself, I need to take more holidays. I know a lot of people are going to be like, good for you, Cleo. You should have been doing that last year. But again, it comes down to the, cost of living as well. And I need to make sure that my rent and bills are covered. Again, from a really working class family. So I always have to make sure that's sorted and covered. And then, yeah. So it's a work in progress, I would say. I'm not even going to lie to you. So yeah, I've got it all under control.
It must be difficult when you're thinking, I need to take a holiday, and then a booking comes in. You go, oh, but I need to take it.
I'm terrible at that. I'm bad, babe. I'm bad.
Because December, you did not stop. You and Daniela DeVille, and probably many, many others that we know.
We're so bad. We always have this conversation backstage. I'm like, babe, I just couldn't help myself. Just like, same. But again, I think because I've been brought up as like, I graft and I love the graft and I love working hard. It's just in me, like it's how I've been brought up. So yeah, I love getting loads of gigs. I love booking loads of gigs. I love feeling busy and feeling like I'm making money, even though it goes in my account an hour ago.
Just bounces in, bounces out,
my expenses list this year.
I think you're throwing one of those bouncy boys.
And it just
like,
goes, there and it's gone. But yeah, no. Always love grafting and always work hard and will continue to work hard, but be kinder to myself.
Yeah, because you don't want to suffer burnout, and I think that can happen as a performer a lot.
100%. I've had burnout at the Phoenix before. I've cried backstage, and you don't want your friends to see you in that kind of state either. But yeah, definitely a work in progress, I would say.
Yeah, God. I just keep thinking about, it was, when did we see each other? So at the Phoenix, I think we were watching Joe Black.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. Shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
That was a really fun night. But you were like, I am going to take a break soon. I was like,
You
said that.
I lied. You know what it is, I think, as well? December, like a lot of performers, is really busy month, make a decent amount of money. Most of it goes to the tax man in January. But also, I think I was a bit anxious that January would be quiet again. Luckily, this year, I had a few gigs, a good run of gigs. But I always try and preempt that I might have a quiet period at the start of the year and try and save a bit. So that's why I tend to work quite hard in December. But maybe next January, I'll go away on holiday.
Do you ever find that when it is quiet, you start to then feel anxious because it is quiet?
Oh, 100%. And that's where,
like that.
and then I reach out and I graft and I speak to producers and just see how I can get more work if necessary.
Yeah. So I think I would just like sit down and go, okay, I need to be busy.
Yeah. I also find when I'm on pause, maybe things in my personal life that I've not quite processed then come to the forefront of my mind. I've always, and I'm quite transparent about it, I've always liked to work hard as well, so I don't have to worry. I'm quite a worrier. So if I'm not working or I'm not doing something, I either feel guilty for not doing that, which is something I'm working on with my therapist, because I feel like I should be, constantly grafting. It does become a bit unhealthy, I guess. Hence why I'm being kinder to myself this year and trying to take them breaks. Yeah. But also on the other side of things, like, emotional things from other areas of my life then come to the forefront, and then I start worrying about that, or previous worries come up, and something I'm trying to regulate by taking breaks and do more therapy.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes, therapy is good. Trying to get everybody into it. But it is. I mean, I have to be in therapy to be a therapist. So I'm having to go through a lot of things. And it's very similar to you. It's like when I stop, I almost punish myself for not being busy enough. And then I'm off again. And it's it's really hard to just sit with your feelings sometimes.
Yeah, very hard. I really struggle with that. And openly will say that I really struggle with that.
Yeah. Work in progress. But I think, it's important to have those moments to do that. But it can be quite difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. So moving on to something else, I want to know all about strip hop.
Strip hop. So strip hop is a fusion of striptease, dance technique, all done to a hip hop commercial playlist. So again, I wanted to offer a class that maybe others aren't offering. So doing striptease with dance technique. I think dance technique, the basics, is really important to learn, especially newer artists that are choreographing things that may not have necessarily had dance training or circus training. Yeah. I was trying teaching the basics of, like, for example, turning, knowing how to turn on stage, knowing you need to spot so you don't get dizzy. People that want to, work on the flexibility as well, we'll go over flexibility exercises. So it's a biggie for me. A lot of people come in, they're like, oh, this is like quite similar to a dance class with obviously the striptease element. But I've purposely built it that way so people can go away and then know how to, finish a line properly and understand that, like, energy is out and it goes right out the top of your fingers, so your hand's not forgotten about if you're choreographing something with lots of lines. Yes. I do hate that. I'm not gonna lie. If I see someone, doing like pole or something and then not like really extending out and pointing the toes, not that they necessarily have to if it's not choreographed that way, but it's just the little things like finishing the lines. And I think that's what producers look for when they're wanting to book artists. They're looking at how they've refined the choreography and whether things are slick, choreographically wise. So I just want to give people that, like, helping hand and help them to learn how to, like, finish lines and make choreography, like, clean. And
And are the people that go to your classes wanting to be performers, or are they doing it for fitness, or both?
Majority are performers, newer performers. I do have a lot of lovely pole dancers that come to class, again wanting to work on the lines, flexibility, splits, etc. From all areas of cabaret, really, drag, circus. It's a really lovely mixture of students. And I just want to, especially after everybody looking after me, I feel over the years, I want to give back. Hence why Strip Hop and House of Pantha have come about.
Yeah. It's really powerful as well. It's good to give back.
Always.
How did the idea come for your Strip Hop?
For Strip Hop, so Strip Hop came about, I guess, from how I dance on stage. So obviously Jessica Rabbit and WAP is the fusion of, like, hip hop and burlesque striptease. So it really came from that. I was trying to, again, extend a branch of myself into something else. So I felt if I could teach that and teach students a different way of moving to maybe music that they don't necessarily choose. So if they're doing a lot of classic, they wouldn't necessarily choose a Missy Elliott track to do classic too. But again, it's opening their minds up to trying new things and branching out to other music genres. So that's really how that came about, Strip Hop.
Yeah, you're kind of teaching people to push the boundaries and not work within the rules.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, lovely artists out there, offering classic burlesque. So I just wanted to try and offer something a little bit different, which, you know, moves people a different way, makes them think a different way, especially when it comes to working with different styles of music.
Yeah, and doing a lot of floor work as well.
Oh,
the knee
yeah,
pads.
getting
Oh, you're
twerking.
throwing yourself in the air, and I'm just like, how'd she do that?
I know.
It's amazing.
The amount of people at your knees, and I'm like, I wear 2 pairs of knee pads now. I'm also a contemporary dancer. That's what I trained in. So I'm always been at one with the floor. A lot of the time as well, the noise actually comes from me being really dramatic and slamming my hands down. But obviously they hear noise, see your knees, and they put 2 and 2 together, and they're like, girl. Which is understandable.
2 pairs of knee pads, though.
2 pairs. So on the inside of my knees and on the actual kneecaps themselves. So because I do a lot of drop splitting, my physio, I've got a really good physio, Natasha, based at Warrior Sports Fitness in East London. Incredible lady. She also works at the circus space a lot. So she's explained to me, you know, when I'm drop splitting, it's a repetitive movement that I'm doing a lot. I need to protect the inside of my kneecaps as well. That is really handy, people, especially drag queens out there. They're doing mad drop splits from mad bloody light heights. Please double up on the knee pads. It is really, I know it doesn't look great when you're on stage and you're in a costume, but it's just really important to sustain like a really good career, a really long career, I guess.
Exactly. The
longevity. You want to look after your body.
Yeah. Because you want to be doing this for how many years?
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I'm already tired. So more mentally tired than anything.
God, yeah. Do you ever find your calm? Or is that just, you mentioned on the train?
Yeah, on the train, I'm really zen. On planes as well. I guess whenever I'm traveling, I'm quite zen.
I guess it forces you to stop.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm having a bath or a shower, when I'm in bed as well, like I can easily just like relax. Again, ashwagandha's really helped me. But yeah.
So tell me about that.
Ashwagandha. Yeah. So I just looked it up online, and I'm not sure on like all the ingredients. Sorry, but it really a lot of ADHD. I don't want to say sufferers, but people with ADHD have said how like good it's been for their anxiety. I think it does something to your what's it called? Is it melatonin? You know, the levels. So basically it like works on them, and it helps you just to sleep and relax at night. I really struggle with a bit of insomnia. I think it is ADHD related, where you know your brain's still buzzing even though your body's relaxed. So I just wanted to try a few different things out until I get referred and until I'm put on the right medication. Not trying to, well, I am really trying to self-medicate, but until I have a professional tell me what's wrong with me.
There's the element of being so creative as well. I mean, I guess you could argue that, you know, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just, you're so creative and hyper-focused, and so it can be hard to switch off. 100%. I think if you were ADHD and doing, say, air quote, normal job, that I don't know how that would be, but when you're creative, I feel like you really are fueling that part. Like you said, the genius. I think you're allowing the genius to come out.
I 100% agree with you. My worry with medication as well is that I'm not going to allow that to flourish, and really I don't want to dampen that, if that makes sense. Dampen that part of me. So there'll be times at night, 1 a.m, I'm not even lying, where an idea will pop in my head and I have to jot it down. But it's just how my brain works. Like I'll be buzzing all day, or I would have done a show, my adrenaline levels are quite high still, and I'll just pop loads of ideas out just out of nowhere. Write them down. I'm like, that's genius. Well, in my head it's genius. To others it might be like, what the hell?
No, it's good. I've actually started doing voice notes now. So it's 1 a.m. I'm going, got an idea for the podcast. So anyway, like, all right, chat to you tomorrow, Candy. It's like, I just spoke to myself for half an hour.
Dear. But that's okay. Only we know. Well, they'll know now.
Well, you know now.
Oh dear.
I love being creative though. And I mean, I love doing this podcast because I get to speak to so many creatives and what makes them tick and how they make it work for them. And it is all about the balance of, and just knowing yourself,
100%.
Knowing what you can work with, and, you know, moments to escape and all of that. It's just so important.
100%, 100%.
What's been the most incredible part of your career so far?
Oh, there's been so many.
Some highlights.
Obviously, the Cardi B moment was a big moment in my career, and the community coming together and getting me there. Even though it was like a solo journey, I was on my own and I was going out to LA, and I never felt on my own because I felt like the whole UK cabaret scene was with me, which is really lovely. I'm not gonna try not to tear up. Like every time I tell this, I end up like tearing up, but just the level of support of everyone, and yeah, it's just an incredible experience. I got to meet my hero, and in part that was due to everyone supporting me and giving me that, because it was £2,000 for the flight. Yeah, they wouldn't cover my flight, so for the audition, and it was a real risk because I thought, well, if I don't get the job, then I'm in £2,000 debt, so that's fabulous. But it's like, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah. When am I ever going to say again that I've auditioned for Cardi B's birthday? So yeah, thank you everyone. Again, I know I say this in every interview, but it changed my life. It changed my career. I think all eyes were on me at that point, and I think that's part of the reason I got so highly ranked in the Burlesque Top 50 that year. It was such a milestone in my career, and I really hope I did the UK proud, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, she's gorgeous. Yeah.
It must have felt absolutely incredible to be a part of that.
Yeah, it was. And when I finally met her, as soon as them pictures were took, I was like, this has to go on social media right now. But yeah, what a whirlwind 4 days. Incredible.
Yeah. Wow, I'm sure you've got loads of others.
Oh, I've got loads. Yeah, just to also say, Zizi, thank you so much. Zizi basically helped me out with that journey. She was like, put it on my credit card right now.
Wow.
Yeah, she was an absolute babe. She set up the GoFundMe because I felt too proud to ask for people for any money through that period. It was the start of the cost of living crisis then. I was like, I can't do that. And she set it up anyway. Yeah. So thank you. Hebden Bridge Burlesque Festival, incredible. Every time on that stage, the room is electric. There is so much energy, and just to see everyone's lovely faces from all areas of burlesque and cabaret under one roof is just. I'm there again actually this year.
Yeah.
Doing live and stripping. So I'll be there on the Sunday this year. That'll be in May. Let me think. There's been so many. Ministry of Burlesque is always so much fun. Phoenix obviously is very close to my heart, like family there. The Cocoa Butter Club, without the Cocoa Butter Club, I wouldn't be who I am today, I guess. Like, they were the first people to spot me, put me on big stages. Like, it's meant a lot over the years. Done Glastonbury, find me in the drum and bass area at Glastonbury. Always a pleasure to do that, and Sensation Seekers, I tend to do that now and again every other year. And Boomtown's a big one. I don't necessarily do a lot of burlesque there, but like just being on one of the main stages there throughout the evening is incredible. You're in front of thousands of people. It's just, yeah.
I saw that on Instagram. I was like,
yeah, you get projected.
The girl has made it. Oh, wow. Projected out for everybody to see.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's so much fun. Honestly, I love my career. The ups and downs, I still love it. Yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.
The ups and downs are important, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%.
The ups wouldn't be so up if you didn't have the downs.
Yeah. To reflect upon. Yeah, 100%.
Is there anything you would change about your career? Anything at all?
I guess I do still beat myself up when it comes to things like admin. That's the area of my career that I really struggle with, keeping on top of admin, and a lot of producers will be like, hey. But that's why I have Sophie to support me, and a lot of that is also to do with my ADHD. I wish, and I should vocalize that more, that when I am struggling, it isn't a lazy, I cannot be bothered to do this. It's I have to designate times to do admin when I'm in the right frame of mind and when my ADHD isn't battling me. So that is something that is ongoing that I'm working on. Just again, really, I just wish that I knew a lot more about costuming to begin with. And that's why House of Pantha, I think, is important, because we try to cover that with new students on the courses and stuff that we run. But yeah, costume would be a big one. I wish I knew more, and I wish from the beginning I just knew how to I don't want to say sell myself, but sell myself as a well-rounded artist and know my branding. Obviously that comes with time, but know who I am and, you know, just look the part and have bookers, you know, book me, not just because of how I dance, but how I look. A few bookers were like that. They were very transparent about it, saying we want to book you, but we just feel like you need to elevate your look, which was really handy advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the strip hop and the House of Panther, where do you see that going in the future?
So I'm just letting House of Panther flourish at the moment. I got my arts council at the start of the year.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was three attempts for that. I cried a lot. There was a lot of crying. Heather, who is my access support worker, was incredible. Helped me with my application forms. Again, because of my ADHD, I really deterred off doing it because I just felt like it was just too overwhelming. I had too much on. But she was amazing. She was like, "You're going to call me. We're going to discuss this. I'm going to jot it all down, and I'm going to be an access support worker. I'm going to put this forward for you. We're going to make it happen."
Amazing.
So essentially, House of Panther kickstarted last year as part of the Place Contemporary Dance School. Yep. They gave me $2,500 funding to work with to put on a 4-day course for 30 students. I think we had nearly 100 apply, and it was so difficult for us to select artists. There's still artists. I've said to everyone actually that didn't get a place, I would like to offer them on a course this year, which I need to get around to. So yeah, it was just really overwhelming, the response. And I then had to explain to Arts Council, look, the demand is there. People want to learn, they want to meet, they want a real sense of like community. And I want to build that. But I have lots of plans for it. I'll probably say now I'm trying my best to, it's still in the works, but get a few of the students into Glastonbury this year, which none of them will be aware of yet until now. Boomtown as well. I'm working really hard with Boomtown to get a few of them in there, get them on big stages. Essentially, I feel like a lot of the students that I talk to that are on the courses feel like these stages and these events are so far out of reach, and they're really not. No dream is out of reach. Look at me and Cardi B, and that is the premise of House of Panther. I will do my best to get you on these stages. You just have to put the hard work in, and I can get you there, and I can give you a helping hand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm also working with Perth International Burlesque Festival. So they've said that they want a House of Panther student to go and perform there this year. Wow. So hopefully I'll be able to take them over and they'll get to perform there. So they get to go on an international stage. I'm still kind of working on the logistics of that. So we'll be sending a student to Australia. We'll be sending students to Glastonbury, Boomtown. There's an array of other things that I want to work on. Can
I go?
Yeah, of course. Come with.
Can I be a student?
Of course.
We'll I
want to go. Yeah, I just want them to know that like they have worth, and these stages are so in reach. Again, it's just putting the hard work in. And for me, something that I have to learn is like, obviously, my students are so varied and so good at what they do. And, not all of them will be suitable for Glastonbury because that's like, I need really like hardcore twerking dancers. So I guess it's, what can I say? I guess it's me being honest with them about, expectations and what is explaining to them, you may not be suitable for one job, but that's not to mean that there's another long list of jobs out there for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because I'm not suitable for everything. I still get knocked back. I can say in 2022 is number 3 in the world in burlesque, but I go for burlesque jobs and I still get turned away. You just have to keep it moving. I don't know about you with like dance training, but I was just always in this headspace of, you have to keep it pushing, you have to keep it moving.
You do.
When you zig and it doesn't work, you zag. That's what my dad said to me the other day. You can't hold on to things and you can't have expectations. You just have to keep pushing through till you find out what works for you. Definitely. And it's the same when I hopefully open these doors to people. Some of the doors won't be suitable for some, but will be for others. And that's totally fine. It's not that anyone's failed. It's just that, that's how I see my job is I'm suitable for some things and they should see it the same and not see it as rejection.
And that's
That's
really,
what I really,
that's really good though, because so many people, and myself included, you know, if there were things that I went into a competition and I didn't quite win it, I would be beating myself up instead of going, look what you did. This was amazing. It didn't quite work out for you, but this is what you can take from it and move on.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be very thick-skinned in the industry.
You have to be. And I just always really want to say that to my students and reassure them that it is totally fine if you don't win a burlesque competition that you've entered. It doesn't mean that you've failed, you've done anything wrong. That just wasn't the path for you, and that's fine. There'll be so many other doors waiting. And I think that's the same mindset I'll take with me when I go to BHOF, because I'm doing best debut, so I'm just going to be me, and whatever happens, I've done me and I've been me, and I've tried to represent the UK, and that's enough for me.
Definitely doing your best, like that's all you can do. And I think knockbacks are good. I do think they help make you more resilient, but also it's teaching you okay, so that doesn't quite work when I do this particular style or wear this particular thing, so I'm just going to modify
always trial and error, 100%. And acts, you're always evolving anyway. Crazy in Love's changed about bloody 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, over the years. The costumes, I've tried to elevate it 4 or 5 times now. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Times change. You want to change things up. You want to, you know, I don't know, Jessica Rabbit for me, I'll openly say at the moment, the costume I'm just a bit with. So I'm getting her remade. But I want to feel that magic I once felt with her again. And I think that's just come down to the costume, getting a bit nitty gritty. And so when I go on stage in it, I feel a bit now.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting it redone makes me feel that magic again when I'm on stage and feel like I'm the fudge. I can't swear there. That didn't quite work, but
I'm the shizzle.
Shizzle manizzle.
I'm the shizzle.
Thank you, Snoop Dogg.
Is that how he was from?
I think so.
Good to know. Good to know. Oh gosh, but yeah, it's a really good point actually, because I've been on stage where I'm wearing a costume that I just don't quite feel is up to scratch, and then I don't feel as good.
Yeah, you just don't feel and that's fine. That's fine. It just means that needs to be laid in peace now. We need to work with something afresh. And that's quite exciting though, because then you've got something to work with. And I'm really excited for my new Jessica. So new Jessica coming soon.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
And then it's practicing in it, isn't it? Making sure it comes off right. And
what's been your funniest moment?
Oh gosh, so many. I can't probably say on here. Some of the things I've seen over the years.
Can it be like a PG version?
Oh, let's see. My best friend will kill me, but just a friend of mine had an accident at Glastonbury, knocked on the tent a few years ago, and I can't say. If they see this, they're gonna be like, Cleo, shut up. Glastonbury last year, I remember seeing one of the staff backstage. Like, he must have called it a night there and then, and we had this big velvet throw on the venue, and he just pulled it down, rolled up in the grass, and fell asleep.
Oh my god!
But there's so many stories I can't think of the top of my head over the years. Someone did say to me I should write a book.
You should write a book.
Yes. Of a panther. Honestly, I've seen all sorts.
There was of a panther.
Yeah.
I think
especially doing fet events, and everyone's up to no good. It's great though. I
saw you performing at Torture Garden, but I couldn't quite get there, and I was like, damn it.
I love Torture Garden, TJ.
Oh, yeah.
I love doing Edinburgh as well. Edinburgh was fun. I did that, I think, 1.5 years ago. So it's nice to do it outside of London.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a different crowd. But that's fine. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Nice. But there's been so many funny moments though.
Oh, so many.
Costume mishaps.
Of course, pasties gone flying, and just, people trying to steal pasties.
What?
Yeah, a guy tried to do that a couple of years ago. And I'm like, what are you going to do? I don't actually want to know what he wanted to do with it. Memories, babe, memories.
Oh, got a shrine.
Yeah. Oh, John.
Why would they want to pinch that?
I don't know. You tell me.
So they fell off.
So one pinged off. The stage manager saw him put it in his pocket, obviously went over and was like, and I think he denied it at first, but like it was blatantly in his pocket. Handed it back over, but what can I say? We can only imagine what that's got him used. Oh,
anyway,
maybe sniffs it before he goes to sleep. I don't know. I don't know.
That's so funny.
Nipple sweat.
Lovely.
Dead nice.
But they're expensive, even those, because you know you're right. Is it rhinestones?
Yeah,
yeah. For those as well.
Yeah, rhinestone. I'm getting some of them custom made. Yeah, it's like at least minimum £50-60 for pasties. I mean, there's some that are cheaper, but I'm gluing them 5-6 times a week, so I really need them to withstand a lot.
Yeah.
And then the trauma my nipples go through, you know, from like gluing all the time.
Do you mean you glue?
I use Mastex.
Do you actually use like a covering thing before you put that on?
Oh. I tassel very aggressively.
Yeah.
Especially Jessica Rabbit. So
yes, of course. Yeah.
I know a lot of people that I speak to backstage use just really good double-sided tape. It just depends on how long I'm waiting before I'm on stage. A lot of the time I'm at the end of an act. So I have to bear in mind that my nipples are getting warm. Sometimes tape just doesn't quite cut it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, to avoid any
so what do? You just quickly cover it and go, nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Or there's been times where I've pulled them off, which is really naughty and I shouldn't do because, you know, we don't want the council getting involved. Yeah, especially if a place doesn't have a strict license, like I shouldn't be doing that. So
but accidents happen.
They do happen, and I think you just want to own it when it does happen. And in the moment, sometimes, I get a bit feral.
And your facial expressions when you're performing as well.
Oh,
dear. It's amazing. It lights up my life.
Oh, thank you. You know what? I only started doing that after lockdown. I started doing loads of stupid videos in lockdown and I didn't realise people found me funny. I just thought I was a bit of an idiot. They probably were laughing at me, to be honest. But I think I gained a couple thousand more followers over lockdown just from doing silly like montages in my room and like doing loads of like goofy facial expressions, which in part came from like Cardi B and how she's always like,
Yeah.
I wanted to take a bit of that. And then you think of Josephine Baker back in the day doing all the like, clowning. So I just, again, wanted to kind of thread that through my acts as we came out of lockdown and bring just another element to it. Again, you're always evolving your acts and they're always changing. And it seems to have worked a treat. Another reason why I did it as well is, when you have couples in the audience, and I think sometimes it just breaks that tension if you've got a straight couple that is like the first time seeing burlesque. The guy doesn't quite know what to make of it, doesn't know where to look. Sometimes the women are like, show me what you got.
Yes.
So I think, owning your sexuality and being naughty on stage, but also just breaking that tension and doing a and then wondering if you've had a stroke. I just think there's just something quite funny about that. And again, connecting with audiences is a biggie for me. So if I can get them sort of people to laugh, like
yeah, definitely. I think laughter is definitely the
it's
key.
It's always the key for me, anyway.
Yeah, because if the girl is feeling really uncomfortable, but you're making you're breaking the ice, but making her feel like I'm performing for you as well. You are part of this.
You are a part of this. I don't want you to feel excluded.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of people would probably say, well, that's not my issue. That's their issue if they've got an issue with what I'm doing. But I don't know, I've been that person in my 20s that's been a bit judgmental, and especially when I was younger, I'm sure a lot of women probably feel the same. But I just want to, again, make it relatable and be like, we can all be like sexy, but we can just be really silly at the same time. And I love
it. I love the silliness. So what advice would you give to aspiring artists?
Oh, there's so much. I think just always believe in yourself. And as I said earlier, like all dreams are within reach. It's just how much you're willing to put into your artistry. I know it's hard. A lot of my students are working full-time muggle jobs and trying to, pursue a career in burlesque, drag, circus. It's hard. I've been there. I only went full-time freelance a couple of years back. And even then, like, there's that dread that you're not getting enough work to cover your bills and your rent. But it always works out. If you put the graft in and you do the work, it happens. I always say to new artists as well, don't be afraid to reach out to bookers if there are people that you want to work with, and don't be afraid if you think it is beneficial to ask for feedback. So if people don't want to book, you'd be like, how can I, you know, work on things? What are you looking for? Always ask these questions. Don't be afraid. The worst that can happen is you don't hear anything, or you get a no, or but when you zig and it doesn't work, again, you zag, you just keep it moving.
And that's really good to ask for feedback. I've never thought about that.
Yeah,
because
100%.
certainly in the West End, you don't really get any feedback.
Yeah.
Ballet, you do, of course you
Oh,
do.
contemporary dance school, you do.
Get plenty of feedback.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just, and just also knowing that feedback is so subjective. You don't have to take it all on board, but you can get a list of feedback and you just take what you feel is beneficial and go from there, and just believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't take it personal when bookers don't get back to you. That's a biggie. I'm hearing a lot at the moment on the scene when I'm talking backstage to people. I think they take it to heart a lot if bookers are not getting back to them, especially if they're looking for work. And it's hard at the moment. There isn't a lot of work around, but a lot of bookers that I speak to, it's just that they're at capacity with things and can't get back to people. I think a lot of people would argue, well, that's not very professional, but I think it's just a harsh reality right now that venues are really trying their best and bookers are trying their best to make money to put on shows. And that has to kind of take priority right now, rather than like getting back to like the 200 emails of other artists that are trying to get into venues. That's just the harsh, sad reality of it.
Yeah.
But just keep it moving, keep reaching out to bookers, keep putting content online. So you're always at the forefront of people's mind, 100%. And stay true to you and what you do. And I think what you bring to the table as an artist, which is different, whether you sing, play an instrument, dance like I do, that will always make you stand out from other artists. So you should really delve into that and push that and integrate it, whether you're doing striptease or drag. Put these things together, mish them all up and see what happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like there was a lot of ADHD, hopeful, helpful waffle.
No, it's perfect. And it's so true, all of it. And it's a really tough industry. It's incredible. Being an artist is incredible, but it's tough. And I think, for people to have that reassurance of, no, it's not personal, but it's just so many people to get back to.
There are so many bookers I speak to at the moment that feel absolutely awful. Really? I mean, that venue owners, all sorts that are like, I had one book the other day say, I've had 10 burlesque performers email me in one day looking for work. Like, they cannot find work anywhere. And it is also, as an artist, heartbreaking to hear. Yeah. But all I can say is, from when it comes to me looking for work, I email people that I work with regularly and I say, I'm free these days. Don't be afraid to do that a month in advance. I'm free on these dates this month. A lot of people don't think to do that. And again, just to reach out even on Instagram DM, can I get the contact, the booker's contact for this venue, or is there anything you're hiring for right now? Don't be afraid to do that and put the graft and work in. I get a lot of people asking me for contacts. I'm never gatekeepy with stuff. But again, I explain to them there isn't a lot of work at the moment. A lot of the contacts that I have are regular bookers, and they're quite particular on what they want to book and who they book. So again, don't take it personally. Just keep reaching out, and at some point you will accumulate loads of bookings, and it comes over time, and that's fine. I'm waffling now, but I just want to give them as much advice as possible. Yeah.
Cleo, you are wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
So kind, warm and lovely.
I mean, I feel guilty sometimes when people get in touch, and I don't get in touch with them quick enough, or
I took it personally.
No. But yeah, that's me battling my ADHD sometimes. But yeah, it must be really hard for bookers right now, and for artists looking for work. So yeah, hopefully things get better over the next couple of months.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of venues out there, and I didn't actually realise that there was so much struggle going on at the moment. Is it the time of year?
Sometimes it is. I feel like between January and March, I don't get as much work. I have had an all right year this year. Last year, I remember January was very quiet, and I always preempt that. But London in particular at the moment, A lot of venues closing. Though I do have to say Albert Schloss will be opening, which I'm involved with, which will be great because then we'll be able to hopefully get some more artists in there and giving them work. But yeah, it's hard at the moment. There's so many talented artists out there, and I think just a lot of bookers probably get a bit overwhelmed with the amount of people applying for things. And yeah, just please never take it personally. I know I'm not a booker myself as of yet. Hopefully one day soon. But please don't take it personally. Just keep it moving.
Yeah. Have you got anything else to add before I sign off?
No, not really. Just thanks for having me. Sorry if I've waffled on occasion.
No, you've been amazing.
I just really care, and just I've been there where I've not had a lot of work, and it's scary, and it's
yeah. But I feel your passion, and there's so much just electric energy, and I'm like,
my favourite TikTok.
I'm obviously just going to all the things I've heard. More energy, more footwork. You've been amazing. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Not a problem.
Oh, absolutely loved it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, now we can have some of your Rioja.
I can't wait. What day is it? Monday?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Rioja Mondays. Anyway. We'll make it a thing.
I'm sending you all so much love. Oh, my nail missing. She's a classy showgirl.
You are that. And the next places you're performing, I will put everything in the show notes, and then people can check you out.
Wicked. Phoenix Arts Club. If you go on my website, actually, Cleopantha.com,
I'm going to put everything in the show notes so people can check it out.
Wicked.
Oh, Cleo, I loved our chat so much. There's so much you can take away from this show. I definitely got a lot out of it. Make sure you check out the fabulous Cleopantha. I have put all the details into the show notes. What an inspiration. What a legend. Thank you.